She really thought she could just waltz in, take my boat without asking, and go on a joyride. She must have believed it would be a quick little adventure, harmless fun. But when I figured out what happened, oh, I made sure she regretted every second of it. And I didn't have to lift a finger because she ended up explaining herself directly to the authorities. And let's just say, that experience wasn't exactly a pleasant one for her. Living by the water had always been a dream of mine. After years of serving as a commander in the Coast Guard, spending most of my time out at sea, I longed for a peaceful retreat where I could unwind. Finally, I made it happen. I bought a house in a gated community, complete with a private dock, the perfect spot to keep my boat. And oh, my boat? That thing was my pride and joy. A top-of-the-line, fully equipped beauty, built for deep-sea fishing and weekend getaways. But there was a problem. And that problem had a name. Women who think they own everything. Ever since this particular woman moved into the neighborhood, she made it her personal mission to complain about things that were absolutely none of her business. First, she whined that boats like mine didn't match the aesthetic of the community. Seriously? Then, she started going on about how it wasn't fair that I had a private dock while she didn't, as if that was somehow my fault. It was obvious. Her real issue wasn't the boat. It was pure jealousy. At first, I did what any sane person would do. I ignored her. I've dealt with difficult people before, and I knew the best way to handle them was to give them absolutely no reaction. But the thing about people like her, when they don't get a response, they escalate. And that's exactly what she did. It was a typical weekend morning. I woke up early, ready to do some routine maintenance on my boat before heading out to sea. But when I got to the dock, something was off. That eerie chill ran down my spine, the kind you get when you just know something is terribly wrong. And then it hit me. My boat was gone. For a second, I just stood there, blinking, trying to process what I was seeing, or rather, what I wasn't seeing. My first thought? Maybe the condo management moved it. Maybe there was a mix-up. But then, I saw it. The mooring ropes, they had been cut. My stomach dropped, adrenaline spiked. This wasn't a mistake. This was theft. Now, most people in my situation might have panicked, but me? I'm a Coast Guard officer. I know the sea isn't a playground, especially for people who have no idea what they're doing. So, the real question was, who in their right mind would be dumb enough to steal a boat from me? And that's when I heard a voice behind me. Mr. Thompson, hey, I thought you lent your boat to that lady from the HOA? Saw her heading out with it earlier. I turned to my neighbor, my heart stopping for just a second. Who? You know, the one from the blue house? And just like that, shock morphed into rage. She took my boat? Oh, she was about to learn the hard way that you don't mess with the Coast Guard. Time was of the essence. The ocean is unpredictable, and if this woman had no experience, she was putting herself and my boat at serious risk. Not that I particularly cared about her well-being, but the last thing I wanted was an emergency under my name because of her stupidity. I grabbed my phone and immediately checked the boat's tracker. Of course it had a tracker. It wasn't just a fancy toy. It was a high-performance vessel with state-of-the-art navigation. Within seconds, I had the exact location. And there it was, drifting aimlessly, getting further and further from shore. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. I let out a curse under my breath. Not only had this woman stolen my boat, but she had no clue how to operate it. I didn't waste another second. I jumped into my vehicle and sped straight to the Coast Guard base. If she thought she was going to get away with this, she had another thing coming. When I arrived, I went straight to my colleagues. As soon as I explained the situation, one of them burst out laughing. You're telling me your HOA neighbor stole your boat and is now drifting out at sea? Yep. Oh man, this is going to be good. Minutes later, we were mobilized. Lucky for her, I was leading the operation. Had it been anyone else, she would have been treated like a straight-up criminal. But I wanted to catch her in the best way possible. We set out, tracking her location, and as we got closer, her incompetence became crystal clear. The boat was spinning in circles, completely out of control, heading deeper into the ocean. And the best part? We could hear her screaming from a distance. We tuned into her radio frequency. This is the United States Coast Guard. Identify yourself immediately." All we heard in response was pure panic. "Oh my God, oh my God. Help me. I'm lost. The boat is broken." "No, lady, the boat wasn't broken. You were just completely clueless." When we finally reached her, the scene was priceless, sweaty, disheveled, gripping the wheel like it was about to explode. And when she saw me on the patrol boat, her face went pale. That's when she knew she had royally screwed up. She tried to stammer out excuses, but I cut her off. "You're in possession of a stolen vessel. Do you know what that's called in legal terms?" "Silence. Theft and illegal operation of a vessel." She blinked rapidly, mouth opening and closing like a fish. No, this is ridiculous. I'm a respectable citizen. You can't do this to me." Oh, how adorable. As if the law made exceptions for entitled people. Long story short, she was escorted back to shore, humiliated, and the best part? Her respectable reputation was destroyed. I made sure to file a formal complaint, and she fought hard to make it go away. Bribery, HOA pressure, you name it. But justice was served. She lost in court, paid big in damages, and best of all, her beloved status in the neighborhood, gone. Within months, she packed up, sold her house, and vanished without a trace. No one cared. No one said goodbye. And as for me, I carried on, my boat safe and sound, now with a reinforced security system. Not that it was necessary, because after this fiasco, no one would dare touch it again. Moral of the story? Some people need a harsh dose of reality to understand the world doesn't revolve around them. And sometimes, that reality check comes in the form of a Coast Guard patrol boat and a well-deserved lawsuit. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.